Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Joseph, a little bit of a photo walk today with the Canon RF 35 on an R6, just to show you a little bit of what happens when you take a camera, a single lens, even a fixed prime lens, with you on a walk to pay attention to what's around. So here we go. One of my favorite things about a photo walk is just looking for details, like again, beautiful blue sky with some silhouetted leaves. I mean, that's pretty nice. Especially when you can, yeah, stop it down and get a silhouette. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Well, the great thing about this Canon 35mm lens is that it can shoot macro. So when you look at what I'm shooting here and getting really close to your subject, and then I'll underexpose a little bit so I can clean this up in post. But you can get some really pretty amazing shots with some detail in these little bitty spider webs even. And for so many of us, there's something just beautiful about taking a shot looking down an open road. You always want to underexpose these so you can pull all those nice details out of the clouds. Again, when you're walking down a roadway, there's something cool about it. So, one thing that I really do love are textures, and this is a pretty awesome texture of this bark. This is on a pecan tree, so you can get that shot. But also when you look up, again with this shallow depth of field in this lens, you get some really beautiful bokeh there. That looks really good. But also shooting up the whole tree. Get some nice out of focus parts of that. Go back to the focus there to get those specular highlights and this nice round bokeh shooting through. Looks pretty good. Well, it's very different than the bark you'll find on this sort of alligator blocky bark, which of course is Cornus florida. That would be your common dogwood tree that people love so much. Look at that nice rounded highlights on this. Looks pretty good. Again, this is the Canon EOS R6 I'm shooting with, and then shooting on the Canon RF 35 1.8 lens, which is a pretty awesome, very versatile, lightweight little lens. Image stabilization on it, low aperture of f1.8, which is pretty nice, and it also has the macro capabilities of how close it can get, even just to get really close on one of these leaves here on this pecan tree. So let's see if we can get that in focus. Yeah, again, this looks pretty nice, and change it up to f4 just to get a little bit more of that leaf in focus, because that's what I want. Now I should probably change the metering to be a little different, and that would help, but that's a pretty good shot. Yeah, I like that. So again, when you're doing some nature walking photography in the middle of the day, look for those silhouette shots, because again, this looks pretty good, y'all. And also the macro capability here, so it come in real handy. Seeds and drops look pretty good. Again, just some nice things you can see. The great thing about this 35mm lens is it sort of feels like a common perspective. And oh, look, a little bitty Joro spider. Oh, this is nice. This is quite an occasion, and a perfect time to try and capture it on camera if I can. The Joro spiders are not native here. Let me turn this light down a bit. There we go. Keep the aperture about 3.5. That should allow me to capture it. Oh, we got something tasty in there, huh? So the Joro spider is non-native. It's from Japan. I don't remember the full name in Japanese, but there was a rumor that these very colorful large spiders, they can get as big as your hand. This one is not. It is only probably half the size of the one in my yard. But these spiders were rumored to be able to turn into young women. And those young women would entrap young men and then kill them and eat them. So kind of a cool legend. That came into the southeast a few years ago, and now they're sort of taking over. They're harmless to humans, but beautiful, beautiful bodies. I'm not sure if I can get behind it to get a shot of this, but I'll give it a shot if I can. This is where the flip out screen is handy, so I don't have to get too close in there to see what I am doing. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Hilariously, this is all poison ivy, and poison ivy is actually quite beautiful when it changes colors. The good news is this is beautiful. The bad news is it's right here in the path. And so a lot of people are going to walk past this and not know that it's poison ivy and think, oh, what a beautiful, beautiful change of color. So that's not good. So again, poison ivy, and then this is just a briar. So, you know, there you are. Your morals and learning about forestry all on a walk. My Dogwood Trees is already starting to turn, so let's try and capture a little bit of that, a little bit of early fall. Let's get the f-stop up a little higher. You can see the nice, beautiful circular bokeh from the RF lens on this. It's beautiful, kind of cat eye towards the edge. Looks nice. Now this ginkgo tree here, when it changes, is going to be absolutely beautiful in the fall. It'll be a golden yellow color with fan-shaped leaves. That's a beautiful ginkgo biloba tree here in the neighbor's yard. Pretty nice. Oh, nice little potential shot here if I can get it focused close. Yeah. Well, that's not good with the car flying through it. Now, one of the favorite things you can find is a convex mirror. It's always fun to shoot into one of those. Because of the way it just, yeah, a little bit of a self-portrait maybe. Yeah, it never quite turns out because convex mirrors don't ever make you look quite as flattering. But there it is. So, I just met a new neighbor down the street. That's what happens when you're walking around with a camera on your way to work. Now this tree is an old white pine. This is probably one of the older trees in the neighborhood. Now I want to make sure when I shoot this underexposed so I can pull the clouds back a little bit. There we go. Beautiful old shape to it. Yeah. Looks pretty nice up there. So, let's see how that turns out. Some folks are big fans of telephone poles. You're gonna shoot this, you gotta get the f-stop pretty high because I'm shooting directly in the sun, but a little silhouette shot doesn't look bad. All right, well, making my way here to work. One of my favorite shots is just this beautiful little shot. Just focus back in the middle. My favorite shots is just literally the church steeple, shooting this at f8, and I can change it all the way down to, you know, about f3.5 is about all I'm going to be able to get without blowing things out. But again, yeah, so anyway, that's some of what I see on my walk to work. Thanks for watching the channel today. Hope you found this video helpful. The thing I would tell you is just to find ways to pay attention to things around you, as well as just taking a simple light camera setup and just do this as an exercise in creativity and maybe just enjoyment. So, that's all for the video tonight. So, see you in the next one. Peace. Now, one of my favorite shots, one of my favorite places to look is the leading lines here with the shadows. So just, you want to underexpose it so you can make sure your highlights are kept. But that's a pretty sweet shot. Yeah, that's a pretty nice shot.